We knew we had to move forward and hire a new coach. We wanted someone who had a history of team success. We also wanted someone who excelled at player and people development. This would be an individual who was familiar with the Niagara region and understood the philosophy we have of creating and cultivating strong bonds in the community. I'm happy to announce that we found someone who meets all of the attributes I mentioned. So now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the new head coach of the Niagara River Lions, Coach Joe Raso.
This year I came out and watched a bunch of games. I did a little bit of consulting for this team here in Niagara just to get myself involved a little bit. And I watch stuff. I watch games. I watch games in London. I watch games in Kitchener. I watch teams play. And I just, every time I watch, I came away getting a little bit more excited. And I think that's important. I think we got to keep people out because this is a product. And once you get it, you'll get hooked on it. And I found I wanted to be part of it. And so I did my due diligence. And I came out realizing this is a good product. This is very good basketball here, and people, the ownerships of the teams, and people do it right. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, Joe was introduced to us actually through Coach Kissy at Brock, a former player who's now a coach. Before we met with Joe, we did some research on him. I knew the guy himself. Like, I knew from years ago watching him on CHCH on the Game of the Week. And I do remember Joe being a screamer, and I liked it, but an intense guy. And I remember Mac being a powerhouse all my years that I followed it. However, I did not know that he was a scout for the national team. I didn't know he'd been an assistant coach for the national team. And then when we met personally with him, I had no idea he was an NBA scout for 3 teams. Those things really jumped out at me. Coach Raso really hits all the targets.
Because like I said, I've never been away from the game. I've just been away from coaching. I've been on the sidelines. And part of that was, you know, it was a commitment as a parent. I wanted to see my son play when he was playing. But I also wanted to be able to get and stay involved. So scouting in the NBA, working for Team Canada, all that stuff I do. I'm at practices all the time. So that hasn't changed. And I watched like an incredible amount of basketball. So one of the things I did do was, you know, I put out a tweet every day. And I thought I would write up a tweet about basketball every day, and I realized I had thousands of them by the end of it. So it's an important game with lots of things to say. So, yeah.
I think Joe is almost a template for what this league should be looking to in the future. And there's maybe not enough Joe Rasos in our league right now. However, there probably will be as Canadian coaching gets up there in just caliber of level and opportunity. It's about opportunity. How do you become an NBA scout? You have to get in front of the NBA teams, and Canada's starting to get there.
Well, I think I could help form a team. You know, I always said, like I said, coaches coach, players play, bus drivers drive the bus. And I think forming a team is forming a team 1 through 12, 1 through 15. The importance of your strength coach is important as your players, and your players knowing that players have to be role players in some cases, and you can't have nothing but all but stars. So you got to form a team, then you got to form a team of finding players who want to win. And at this level, it's very difficult because, you know, stats and numbers are such an important thing. So we've got to be able to do that. And I think the other part of the instability part of it is you can't. Good teams in this league are teams with minimal change. And so we want to get it right at the beginning, and we want to have as little change as possible.